Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin. Imagine a scene shot in 1956 for Forbidden Planet. An 11-minute sequence that was buried by MGM and almost never seen, where Anne Francis tames her pet tiger, a quiet, symbolic moment about innocence, power, and myth that explained why the tiger attacks after her first kiss. A sequence the 1950 censors could never allow. A scene that held the key to the film's deeper, darker meaning. The story of Forbidden Planet began with two men, Matt Painter's Irving Block and Alan Adler, who had never written a screenplay, walking into MGM in 1952 with a story they called Fatal Planet. And the studio dismissed them at first. Science fiction. What's considered a dumping ground for leftover actors and old monster suits? But Block and Adler didn't think in words. They thought in images, imagining a planet as a canvas for fear, awe, silence, and technology. A world that could feel alive in ways audiences had never seen. By 1954, MGM reconsidered as television boomed and curiosity about space exploration grew. The old pitch was transformed into Forbidden Planet, one of the most expensive sci-fi experiments of its era, with a budget between $1.90 and $2 million, far above the usual $150,000 to $500,000 spent on the genre. MGM's goal was to elevate science fiction, building sets from scratch, casting rising stars like Leslie Nielsen and Anne Francis alongside Walter Pidgeon, turning a once-dismissed genre into a spectacle that even the industry couldn't ignore, proving that sci-fi could be taken seriously. The story moved from 1972 to the 23rd century on a distant world called Altaira. Borrowing heavily from Shakespeare's The Tempest, Dr. Morbius became a futuristic Prospero, Altaira became Miranda, and even the monsters were not mere creatures. They were manifestations of the human mind, pulling fear, desire, and guilt directly from Morbius himself. Fred M. Wilcox, who had never worked in sci-fi, directed it like Shakespeare in space, treating the story with gravity, letting human emotion anchor the surreal visuals, avoiding camp or jokes. While Cyril Hume sculpted the script, weaving Freudian psychology into the monsters, turning them into symbols of desire, repression, and the dangerous consequences of knowledge and unchecked ego. Walter Pidgeon, 58, brought the weight of decades of dramatic roles to Dr. Morbius. Anne Francis shocked audiences with the first miniskirt in film, becoming an icon, and Leslie Nielsen commanded the spaceship bridge. Long before comedy made him famous, while Robbie the Robot emerged as a character in its own right. Built to move, blink, and speak while following ethical rules that shaped the story and foreshadowed modern sci-fi ideas. The film premiered at a sci-fi convention, then in Hollywood, with CinemaScope and stereophonic sound. While the Baron's revolutionary electronic score replaced violins and trumpets with circuits, feedback, loops, and static, creating a living, breathing atmosphere, a soundtrack that responded to the movie like another character. The ID monster, hand-drawn by Joshua Meador, represented subconscious rage and fear, a reflection of Morbius's mind, which is why Robbie couldn't stop it, why conventional weapons failed. Because the true threat was inside, not outside. MGM cut controversial sequences like the tiger and virgin metaphor and the illusion of Anne Francis swimming nude, moments exploring sexuality, innocence, and myth, causing censorship battles in the US and Spain. Yet these missing pieces resurfaced decades later, revealing the film's full symbolic power, showing that every robot, monster, and machine reflected the deepest truths of the human mind, the Freudian psychology hidden behind breathtaking visuals, groundbreaking sound, and pioneering effects. The sets, the spaceship, the Krell laboratory, and the 350-foot cyclorama required careful planning, immense manpower, and precise lighting to create a believable alien world. overwhelming the cast but resulting in one of the most ambitious and immersive productions of the 1950s. Forbidden Planet wasn't just about aliens or space travel. It was a story about desire, jealousy, control, and the dark corners of the human soul. A psychological journey wrapped in dazzling science fiction. And its rediscovery decades later allowed audiences to finally see the full vision MGM attempted to create. If you love exploring hidden Hollywood secrets and the extraordinary stories behind cinematic classics, subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss a revelation.